Hello again, welcome to episode 3. This week, Zoom has landed. I find I enjoy the experience quite as much as the old, normal, face-to-face stuff. Perhaps this says more about my fragile mental health in lockdown than anything else. Although a close second may be the fact that I really need, to watch every cooking programme on TV. Rick Stein is my favourite. I found myself in tears as he motored through Provence the other day. Jamie's Way with Chicken, the Hairy Bikers in Mallorca, the Great British Menu, and the list goes on and on. I'm so glad it does. From the front of our house, we look up the long drive to a green picket fence. On the other side of the fence is the road and pathway into the golf course. People taking their allowed exercise pound the pavement. The fast walkers wear lycra, and the slow have little rucksacks and carry bottles of water. People stop to talk to us if we venture up to the top beds near the fence to weed and water. Yesterday, a rather large lady lambasted me on the poor state of my vegetables. Well, she was quite right to do so. I was hoping passers-by would notice the recently pollarded pear tree bedecked in blossom and give us some more positive feedback. I'm ever hopeful. Back in the virtual world, I have found Matt Lucas and his baked potato song on YouTube. He is, I know, slightly creepy, but there are great shots of the classical musicians which accompany him. Then we come to Frank Skinner and his poetry podcast. This is another who'd have thought it moment. He discussed his take on a Stevie Smith and a William Carlos Williams poem, and I really enjoyed his interpretations. Thanks, Frank. Bring on episode 2. In my binge-watching mode, I have discovered a series of BBC programmes on catch-up. I must have missed them when they were televised live, but oh, what a treat. Secrets of the museums, the V&A collections and their conservation. It's like the Repair Shop programme, but it's much bigger and larger and more intricate. A fascinating episode dealt with the cleaning, etc., of the very large Raphael cartoons. The subsequent works, of course, from these paper outlines are now in the Sistine Chapel. I was immediately transported to a previous visit to the V&A a friend and I had enjoyed. It must have been more than 25 years ago since the cartoons were in a different gallery, as I recall. There were 7 cartoons, or rather there are 7 cartoons, and the frames alone each weigh a ton. Sorry, I just had to pause there, interrupted in my flow. There are 7 cartoons, as I said, and the frames alone each weigh a ton. The programme showed one frame and its glass being removed, and I had my heart in my mouth. It was, I kid you not, nail-biting. I recall my visit back then, sitting on a bench as 2 teenage lads entered the wide, dark gallery. The boys were running and shouting and indeed fighting with each other. To the amazement of my companion, I immediately leapt up and called them into order. The looks they gave me as they sheepishly left. My companion looked up to me and said, "Well, it's true then. You have turned into your mother."